What's up guys, Sintani here bringing you some more Guild Wars 2 content. This one we are on our level 15 Ranger. Gonna give you my impressions, my thoughts, build ideas, go over his skills, and dungeon roles that he will fill, and possibly some PvP tactics from what I've seen and basic knowledge of how it works from watching a friend of mine play a lot and all that. Okay, it's another pet class. You can switch between, like I said in the overview video, you can have 2 land animals and 2 aquatic. So you switch between the 2. I mean, these are the only 2 I have right now, so you can attack your target, can use their special ability which you have control over, and you can also have them return. You can have them set to guard and avoid combat, effectively active and passive. And then these are, you can go into your pet management. This is where you see all the aquatics. These are all the aquatic pets you can go track down. Some of them are dual purpose. Some of them will be used on land and water. And then you see the attributes for them all. See all the different abilities you have, like that one. That's the special ability you have control over that allows you to cast regen. These are the ones that they control, AI controls. These are all the land animals. I mean, you got all sorts of MOAs. You get to name your own pets. So, yeah, you got felines, you've got birds, you've got plant canines, drakes, birds, spiders, warthogs, big werevin. Oh, that would be fun. I've added some new pets since the last time I played at Ranger. Let's go over the skills real fast. This build that I'm working on right now is more of a Condi situated build. I have Axe and Warhorn, and then for my melee I'm using Sword and Dagger, I do believe? Yes, Sword and Dagger. Axe for the Ranger is not a melee, it's a ranged weapon. Warhorn is, of course, a ranged weapon. I might change the offhand over to the torch just to give me access to the burning compared to the vulnerability and the Call of Wild. For Warhorn is more of a support styled secondary in my opinion, because you put the vulnerability, a lot of vulnerability, 16 stacks of it across the duration, and then you give you and your allies Fury, Might, and Swiftness, and your pet's attacks become unblockable. Okay, let's go over the Axe really fast. Ricochet, bounce your axe between multiple foes, gaining might for every enemy struck. Bleeding, that is unique per game mode, so I'm not certain what it is in PvP. More bleeding, shield, and weakness. And then with the Warhorn, you do the vulnerability and the might, fury, and swiftness, and then your pet's attacks are unblockable. With the sword and dagger, this one I actually enjoy a lot. It's very evadey. Give yourself first attack is just flat damage, and then you cripple, and then you give yourself might, and then you damage them and jump backwards, and then you can jump right back forward to cripple them some more. And then that one you evade and hitting them, giving them poison. There you evade and hit them, giving them more poison, and then there you bleed and cripple them. Longbow, you see a lot of longbow rangers, especially in PvP. You don't see the shortbow ranger too much. Granted that he does attack a little faster, but shortbow you see a lot more in dungeons, I would assume, because the AI targets who holds the aggro, not a player controlling who holds their aggro. Anyways, long range shot, fire damage, shoot from long range, the further away it is, more damage it does. Rapid fire inflicts vulnerability with it, and it attacks 10 times pretty quickly. Hunter Shot. This one has, most of the time I say use just to give your pet swiftness. The stealth, I mean, sometimes you can pull some sneaky stuff off in PvP. PvE, it's handy because the environment is dumb as soon as you stealth. To push back, I've seen it used a lot in PvP to knock people off of ledges, so see your ranger out there, make sure, and then your AoE damage. So AoE drops 12 arrows, cripples, 12 stacks of cripple on them. Short bow, like I said, you don't see it too much in PvP that I've seen. I'm sure there are plenty of people who use it. It's a Condi bow. You do bleed. If you're from behind or from the side, it does more. So effectively, if you're flanking them, it deals more damage. Poison volley, 5 arrows, little cone thing. Again, if you're flanking or behind, deals more damage. This is a little evasive shot. You gain swiftness. You can also use it while running away, so you can be backtracking, hit it, and just GTFO. Crippling shot, bleeding, cripple, and immobilize. And then a daze arrow. It'll stun them for 2 seconds instead of just daze if you're from behind or back. Axe offhand, throw an axe and it returns to you, striking foes each way. And block projectiles while damaging nearby enemies. Applies vulnerability, it does appear. Great sword. This is a 9. Well, granted, I really only watch one streamer that does PvP, and he runs longbow and greatsword. Slash. It's a chain. I don't remember what the rest of it does. Vulnerability and attack of opportunity. 50% damage on the pet's next attack. Run and leap at your foe, hitting them and nearby enemies. Gives you evasion while swinging. It also allows you to move around a map a little bit more. Block and counter. Gives you knockback if you connect with the counter. And then a daze, stun them if you get behind, and refresh your maul ability. So if you can get behind them, hit that. Well, get behind, hit that. Once I plan this whole setting structure out in my head, hit that, try to rotate around them, hit that, and you can hit that immediately again. Staff is your elite spec, the druid. The druid is the healer of the ranger. Only time he really gets access to much healing. Concentrating beam of light, damaging the target foe and healing allies inside the beam. Send a wisp to attack your foe while attached to a circle of foe healing allies that passes through. Traversing target location when you hit the target, heal nearby enemies. It's an immobilize. You immobilize them, and you also cleanse from your allies. And energy barrier that causes enemy projectiles to heal upon impact. So definitely strong support, strong healing thing with the staff, which you don't get until you get 80 and get druid. Torch is probably going to be my, probably going to do axe and torch for my second weapon set for more Condi, just to get the burning. You throw your torch and burn your foe, instead of fire around you, damaging and burning foes. Simple. You've got a melee and a ranged aquatic weapon. Stab, attack while reflecting, bleeding, and vulnerability. You throw your spear while blocking. If you block, push back. Mobilize and strike multiple times. Bleeding. More bleeding the further away it does. Further away it is, more bleeding it does. It also cripples. You get your pet gets fury, and they get eaten by a bunch of piranhas. Deals more damage the less health the target has, much like Heartseeker from the Thief, and then retreat backwards, leaving a blinding trail in your wake. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's about it. As far as the specific ones, we see Signet, make a return, increase movement speed to you and your pet passively, and active, you deal more damage. Passive regen, and active makes him grow larger, gaining more damage and stability. Toughness of you and your pets. Active, no longer take any damage. You are still susceptible to conditions and control effects though. And cure condition every 10 seconds, and active, your pet pulls all conditions from nearby allies to itself. See that used a lot. So what you do is, especially in PvP, one of the tactics I've seen is if you and your team are in the middle of a team fight, and you're starting to get hit with a lot of conditions, you activate that, your pet pulls all the conditions, and you switch your pet out. You switch to your other pet, he doesn't have any conditions. Trap, these are going to be your fun little trap things. Heal you and your pet. Place a trap that gains regeneration and cures conditions on allies. Spike trap, bleeds and launches. Flame trap, burns them. Viper nest, it's a poison trap. And then a chill trap. Survival training, regenerate health. Sharpened blade allows you to, for the next 10 attacks or 30 seconds, apply bleeding with every one of your attacks. With the crack of lightning, dealing damage and gaining vigor, and it also removes any stuns. Muddy terrain, use mud to cripple and immobilize. So you and your pet gain swiftness, apparently quickness and super speed. Entangle foes around you with vines. Entangle foes bleed and are immobilized until the vines are destroyed. It could be kind of fun. Spirit training, these are your spirits, clearly. Another Condi, you summon a spirit, and for 60 seconds it just kind of hangs out with you. Gives you a 75% chance to apply burning on a hit. And if you activate it, what do you do? What happens when you activate it? Oh, it does. Sacrifices itself, releasing the brilliance of the sun, so burns and blinds. Stone Spirit, 75% to apply protection on hit. And this also affects all nearby allies, so it's a good support tactic. Chance to gain bonus damage to nearby allies. Vulnerability when attacking, and healing. Shout, these are your basically your kind of pet commands. They all affect your pet. Your pet rushes to your foe, revealing them and dealing increased damage. Means if they stealth, you can still see them. Guard nearby allies, takes damage on behalf of those allies, gains might when your pet receives damage. Gain protection and break allies out of stuns. Your pet taunts the next foe that attacks you. This one's really handy. I've seen a lot of people get sneaky revives with their pet this way in PvP. Teleports to a downed ally within range and to you. Oh, teleports to a downed ally within range to you. Okay. And then grants regeneration. I thought the pet would summon them. Strength of the pack, rampage with the pet, gaining stability, fury, and swiftness. You and your pet also grant might to each other when you attack. These are your specializations, and then druid. You get the staff. Then you get glyphs, apparently. Heal yourself and your pet while healing nearby allies for lesser. Damage and impair or heal and remove conditions from allies. Outgoing damage or healing of your allies. Summon a seed that heals and cleanses nearby enemies and conditions when it blossoms. Draw your enemies in and knock them away. Daze foes or break stuns for allies. Collect to connect foes or enemies. Tether yourself to nearby allies whenever you're healed. Heal tether the allies as well. Tether yourself to nearby foes whenever you take damage. Deal damage to the foes tethered to you. Huh. That's the druid. That's the elite spec for the ranger. Rangers will typically fill your up until 80. I would say they would only fill DPS. I guess you could probably maintain enough aggro in Greatsword to tank, along with your pet, like Spider tank. Switch aggro between you and your pet. Could be an interesting tactic. Once you get to Druid, you could step into the healer role, into a support role. Other than that, you're going to be sitting in DPS, and either, depending on if you want to just go strictly power or if you want to kind of do more of a Condi build. I'm having fun with the Condi build. Yes, you can do a lot of conditions. I forgot how many conditions Rangers can dump out, especially with Sword and Dagger. And on top of more bleeding and more burning there, and possibly some more fun stuff I can find later. It's always fun to run around trying to figure out where all the pets are. Getting them all unlocked, because, I mean, if you're going to play a pet class, you may as well have access to them all. In PvP, if I'm not mistaken, you do have access to them all, so you don't have to go through PvE and search for them all in order to utilize them in PvP. Yeah, I mean, typically going to be DPS, PvP. You can have a lot of fun in PvP with it. Great PvE class, especially if you're running solo, because you always have your pets. Get to run around collecting all the pets to all the different areas. Really helps for map completions, because you have to kind of wander all over the place trying to find the juvenile versions of things. Like, you'll see the passive creatures that'll have the yellow name. If it's a juvenile, it'll have a green name. You walk up, and the taming is ridiculously simple. You walk up, you activate it, and you tame it. That's it. No time consuming, no sitting there for a while it tames, no dropping its health so far, and nothing. Just you literally walk up and say, hey, I want you. And you have him. Sure, we want some more transmutation charges. But that pretty much covers it for it. I guess I could show you some more gameplay really fast. Yeah, this is where the Sword and Dagger comes in, because you were all over the place. You were all sorts of dodgy.
Might and glory.
Attack with the birds. I don't know why I'm getting so close when I'm using the axe and I'm ranged. Yeah, when you create a ranger, depending on what race you pick, you do get to choose your first pet. I like the Sylvari for it because it's a lot easier to get the Sylvan Hound, and the Sylvan Hound just looks cool, like a plant dog. And yeah, I got a lot more pets to go track down now. A lot. These are one of the I showed in the overview, the miniatures. Got a little dragon. I think I got it for an anniversary gift, I do believe. Another good thing Guild Wars 2 does is when you create a character, every year it stays in creation, they send you a little birthday present for the character, which gives you miniatures, dyes, just skins, cool little things. Like the stuff you'd have to normally spend real money for, they give you for having a character on his birthday every time. So, nice little things they say, this kind of say thank you type of things, in my opinion. But yeah, that pretty much covers it on the Ranger. Ranger is probably my second favorite class. Like I said, I love the pet classes, and legitimately keeping the pets out there is nice, whereas the Elementalist, you only get the pet for a minute. Technically, you can have 2 pets with the Elementalist if you wanted to socket both the Lesser Element and the Element Signet. I don't know if there would be an advantage to that. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the videos that I'll be posting. Granted, this one will probably be the last one I post this week. I don't know what order I'm going to publish them in. I just wanted to get them all recorded since I have the day off, and we'll be out of town next weekend, so all that fun stuff. Might actually go ahead and just boost my Necro right now up to 80, get the builds situated on him and probably do a quick impression at level 80 video for him today to get it recorded and upload throughout the week. But thank you guys. See you next time.